Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Reserve time. Pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team back. Remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Okay, I will save you from that torture of the music. Now we are into game number 3. This is the last one between Duop and Team Freedom. This is for the spot in the grand final. It all comes down to one game.
Radiant team back.
And after that, it's going to be a best of 5 for the winner, so they will be that much closer to the grand prize in this KOD League season number 4, which I'm not even sure what it is. I'm not even sure if it's going to get paid out, to be quite honest. But, yeah, it's just the way things go sometimes, I guess. No, not getting paid is just not acceptable, but hopefully we don't have that problem this time around. I know that I probably will. Feels bad. In any case, Team Freedom, they're going to go with the very tanky start of Abaddon and Doom. Duop get pretty much everything that they wanted for Christmas. Going to have Darkseer and Dazzle to start out the draft. With Team Freedom getting... I'm actually... Okay, these bans don't really make a whole lot of sense for me. Maybe the Undying, but Leech Commander not so much. That's usually what Team Freedom are going to put onto BSJ, and I mean, Doom kind of seems like BSJ's hero as well. He just kind of sits there. Maybe they sack him in the lane, but then he just gets a little bit of farm and they get him very tanky, so... Not actually sure why they go for the Leech Commander ban there, but we'll just have to see. The Team Freedom trying to make sure that they don't get hit with a bunch of minus armor, again taking the Slaughter and the Shadow Fiend out of the draft. Just really not happy with how that last game went. Duop got a lot of minus armor. They also had a huge amount of damage. Good stuns from Swardar, and 747 going ham led to just Team Freedom getting put in pretty much every fight.
Reserve time.
So Duop up to their third pick. And again, they have their Darkseer Dazzle, but they're not going to be able to find so much minus armor this time around unless they go for some different heroes than they did last time. The Templar Assassin's still in the pool. Possibly Vengeful Spirit as well. I'm not sure if they're going to want to go for that here. Seeing the Doom picked up for Team Freedom, you kind of have to wonder, like, what exactly Team Freedom are planning to do with this. Like, sure, he's going to get very tanky, sure, he can manage to get farm, even if they sack him in lane. But exactly who do you put the Doom on? That's basically one big skill that you're gonna have to find a good target for. The Darkseer could drop his load and he's basically gonna drop his load, and then if he gets
10 seconds remaining.
if he gets doomed at that point, that's basically all the Darkseer wants to do.
Seconds remaining. Reserve time.
So Duop, they're gonna pick up the Ogre Magi here. They don't really have any of their big carries, but still Ogre Magi can be a very strong hero. Kind of lacking on disables here though. They have a Vacuum, they have a Fire Blast, but after that, it's not really looking like they have a lot of control there. And Duop have 2 cores left to pick, so they may not even be able to get too many disables with these last 2 picks. They might not need to, but definitely seems like you're gonna want something like that. And plus Abaddon can save his own heroes from the stuns as well. Team Freedom getting a disruptor here for them now. Very strong pickup for them.
Radiant.
And we've seen the Sagstorm doing a lot of work in a couple of games for Team Freedom, especially in game number 1. They got some absolutely fantastic Sagstorms about midway through the fight that really kept things going in their favor. I wouldn't even say turned around because they were already winning at that point.
5 seconds remaining.
So Luna will be the next pickup for Duop.
Reserve time.
So in any case, Duop will be going with the Luna, which pairs pretty well with the Ogre Magi. And that will be able to get out a lot of damage thanks to the Ogre Magi's Bloodlust, and also has some nice magic damage. But that won't really do so much against what Team Freedom have right now. It gives them a little bit more disable, but, well, Duop, they definitely need something a little bit bigger to take care of these tanky heroes. Like maybe if Luna can get further into this game, but if Doom goes for the Doom onto Luna, she's gonna have a lot more of a difficult time trying to fight. But a better Doom target might be Dazzle, just so they don't get the Shadowgrave off. It depends on the fight. It depends on what the rest of the team is doing. Team Freedom might actually go for a little bit more silence, though. Tomato Silencer hasn't been banned out for a while, and while Duop haven't picked up their mid, it is something that Team Freedom could go for here.
10 seconds remaining.
I'll have to see. Team Freedom up to their next pickup, and they're getting pretty low on reserve time. Both teams thinking a while about it, and it will indeed be the silencer for Team Freedom. I kind of had a feeling that we were going to see that from Tomato. Definitely, I mean, they have some absolutely massive silencers on their team right now. I mean, the Doom, Disruptor, Silencer, just all of these members of the team do not want to see spells casted at all. So last time we saw a big minus armor focus for Duop. This time it's a lot of silence from Team Freedom.
Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
Meepo would be banned away by Duop, which just seems a little bit strange considering that Silencer has already been picked. but Team Freedom might decide to go with the silencer in a support role. It could be a thing here. But unfortunately, it means that we're not seeing the Tomato Meatball, which is probably fine. I think we can live with that. And a pretty normal Viper ban from Team Freedom. I'd like to make a shout out, guys. For you guys in the chat, the shout out that I'm going to make today is to this guy named Pithy Legume. He's been casting these matches for a while, so I'd like to give a shout out to him because apparently self shout outs are a thing. Next time you want to ask for a shout out, Team Freedom, they'll be picking up the Centaur War Winner here for their last pickup. And we'll have to see exactly what that turns into for Team Freedom. It might be a support, but it should more likely be a core. We'll just have to see. And Duop are down to their last pickup to try to counter this. Team Freedom, they have a huge amount of silences, lots of control. I would assume that with the Centaur, they've got the charge so that they can keep the Tomato silencer safe. In the bad situations, they might run Centaur in the off lane. Duop pick up a sniper here, and we'll have to see how that works out for him. Centaur can definitely get to the back lines and make things very difficult for him and his team, but he can also just sit back out there and put out a huge amount of damage. So Team Freedom, they pick up the Centaur here, which is generally a good combo. Teams like to run it with Sniper, but that's not going to be the case here. So we get a lot of tankiness and a lot of silence from Team Freedom. We'll have to see how it works against Duops. More all over the place lineup, but they have some pretty good AoE and a lot of physical damage coming through. So here we go. Going to be game number 3 of this best of 3 set, the last one here, as we try to find out who's going to be moving on to the grand final in the KOD League season number 4. We're nearing the end of this thing. It's definitely a lot of fun for me to get to the end of these events because they do actually take a lot of work to cast. It really takes a lot out of you. I mean, this thing was pretty long. It starts at the beginning of January. Then they have the group stage, which seemed unnecessary. Last KOD League, they didn't have a group stage. Then we had a playoff stage as well. It's been taken about, I don't know, we started this at the beginning of January. It's been about 2 to 3 weeks at this point. So it's gonna be over pretty soon, which is always nice for me. BSJ is going to go out very early with a ward. That's a little bit interesting on the Centaur having the ward. So we will be getting in here. Most of Duop are starting to gang up near their own bounty rune. And Team Freedom, they're going to be making the aggressive move onto the other side of the map.
30 seconds to battle.
Freedom, they're moving in here. I think that even though Duop should have a lot of damage, I think that the tankiness of Freedom is going to be a little bit much. Eagle already forcing Snake King away from the rune spot, and BSJ might be forced out at bottom. An interesting draft from Freedom. Yuvar is going to start to chase down BSJ. Knight does come through. They'll try to harass him as much as possible. He hasn't gone for any levels just yet. And Alex Mike will take the bounty rune at top. And I would assume that Freedom will start to focus on helping BSJ as we get into the laning phase. Alex Mike probably won't need a whole lot of help. So we'll go over to the mid lane where it's going to be Sniper versus Silencer. And the much better block was had by 747. He really does like to play the Sniper here. and he's usually done pretty well on it. Not sure how much the Silencer is going to be able to get into range. In fact, Sniper's already taking care of most of the creep wave, and Tomato steps up here. He's going to be taking a lot of damage as a result of this. He does have the healing salve inside the inventory, and he should not be going down right now. Another shrapnel will be placed down by 747. That might actually be the first blood, as Tomato didn't use the healing salve at all. 747 will nearly die at that tower. Very close. And Eric Dawn manages to find the first blood all by his lonesome here. Tomato, I'm not really sure what he thought he was doing when he stepped up against the creep wave. Clearly he was in a lot of trouble. ESJ taking an ignite. Things very difficult for him here, as he has gone for the stomp level 1. Usually we're gonna see Centaurs go for return first, but he decides not to here, and he might even get that salve cancelled. So BSJ, he will move up a little bit. He just wants to get level 2, as this tri-lane is zoning him pretty far away. Eagle should be able to get a lot of farm. He's already up to level 2. To being a Doom, he's got the Infernal Blade available as well. Could go out onto the Dazzle. He has the Tomato Clap as well, Juby. He's got the Thunder Strike. His Eagle really wants to chase this down, but Clairvoyant's getting over towards his Shrine, as Eagle's taking a lot of damage here. Thunder Strike! Oh, the Dazzle doesn't quite get over to the Shrine, as Eagle will wait until that Poison Touch wears off, and he could pick up the regen rune, and he will. So at least one kill will go down in the bottom lane. But BSJ, he still needs a lot of levels, and his second one goes into Double Edge. So not going for the return as early as a lot of Centaurs would do it. Eagle getting in pretty deep, going for a Toughness Aura with the Wildwing Ripper. Again, BSJ has to be very careful at bottom. There's a lot of damage that could come through. Meanwhile, Ice Mike versus Snake King. Ice Mike taking a bit of advantage right now. Snake King just getting to level 4. Eagle ready to come in from the backside. He's got a lot of movement speed right now. Seems to be moving pretty fast with those boots. Bloodlust goes out onto UR. Should be difficult to chase him down. They'll throw out some damage on the Juby, just trying to make him feel not very too great about staying in this lane. As Luna's, look how much damage that one Infernal Blade does to her. Like it shouldn't really seem like it does a lot, especially at level 1, but it seems like it's pretty effective, especially only costing 40 mana. BSA coming in from the side, but there's only so much that he can do right now. He's got level 2 into the Double Edge, another Lucent Beam out onto Juby. UR's not really being stingy with his mana here at all. The Infernal Blade onto the Ogre Magi. If Eagle gets forced away from here, the Kinetic Field will be there, but it's not really even needed to zone out Duop for now. And Juby stepping forward again. Lots of mana has been used. No kills just yet, but UR is still farming exceptionally. Keeping the top lane pushed out. Ice Mike getting a little bit low on mana, so he's got to be watching these aphotic shields. As Tomato keeps his mid lane silencer going here against the Sniper. He is slightly ahead on XP. That's probably what the death is going to do for you. And he does have quite a few denies. Very ready to come around the backside, and I think they have gotten vision of the Dazzle, and they will be able to get Tomato back to safety. We don't want to stay there for too long. Dazzle's still hanging out there though. Definitely could go on to Tomato if he really wanted to. BSJ missing a last hit there. He should be out his Hood of Defiance soon. That ends just really easy to build up for a Centaur, and is extremely beneficial for him, since he's going to have a lot of levels into the Double Edge early. On the mid lane, possibly some aggression onto the Sniper, as Eagle is here ready with the smoke. He's got some Mud Golem rocks to throw. 747 taking some harass. Maybe the Doom steps up here. He's still only got the smoke, and it's going to wear off right now. 747 a little bit too deep. Tomato, he's got some damage with the Glaze. He needs some more though, and the The Scorched Earth also doing a lot to 747 as they get some payback on the sniper. Team Freedom getting that little man down. Juby will also be found by Beery, who still has the clarity going on. Juby just wanting to get over to the clarity.
Radiant's top tower.
And BSJ also has his Tranquil boots up. Will be still the Hooded Defiance pretty soon, but now he might have to get away. Lucent Beam comes through. There's going to be the slow with Ignite. They'll throw out a stun. Yuar's been caught out on the kinetic field. Snake King wanting to get in a little bit further, but he can't arrive fast enough. And Freedom might consider rotating more heroes down to bottom. Couple of observer wards being placed. Juby ready with another kinetic field. Beery wants to walk forward and throw out the Ignite. BSJ is pretty tanky right now, and he is up to level 5. Beery getting caught out underneath the tower. Luna also taking a stun. They need to focus on one of these heroes though. Beery will end up falling. And BSJ wants to find a little bit more. He doesn't have his ultimate just yet. Eagle's walking up very quickly. His next rock is... Oh my lord! Look at the huge amount of damage from Aphotic Shield Double Edge. They'll throw out a Mistcoil and very easily kill the Dazzle. That's just so much damage way too quickly. That's absolutely ridiculous. BSJ possibly in some trouble. Ion Shells will keep getting thrown out. Snake King has made his way here, and 747 starts with the damage. A5 shield gets popped. There's the borrowed time. They're going for 747 a little bit here. Snake King, he might be in some trouble. He's trying to back away, but Darkseer is very tanky right now. He won't be dying anytime soon. They're way too low. IX Mike is out of mana. They have to get away from bottom. And that gives Tomato some space in the mid. Trying to use it to farm, but there will be a rotation back over towards the mid lane. They're smoked up. Tomato might be caught unawares here. Snake King about to show up. Rest of... Oh, there's the surge in on the Biryu. The stun will be there. Slowed down underneath the shrapnel. And there's no way that Tomato gets away from this one. Surrounded by 4 heroes on mid. And, well, it's just not a good look there at all. So Tomato will go down for the second time this match. Eagle's still farming up on his Doom. He's nearly level 6, and he's keeping that Mud Golem passive up. Maybe we'll find Biryu over inside the jungle as Biryu picks up the bounty rune, and he will stay there for a couple seconds. Tomato finding the arcane rune, and they'll actually go on to Biryu. Lots of damage is available. He's got the stun available, throws it out, silencing himself. IX Mike nearly with the A5 shield popping, and that should be enough to kill off Biryu. They'll manage to find the kill into the Ogre match. I might think about a 747. They don't have a stun though, and oh, the glimpse will pull him back. That was what they needed. Juby in the vision that he needed to make sure that the sniper died. Taking advantage of this hero early is absolutely what you have to do if you're Team Freedom. Just one of the big weaknesses that this hero, he is not going to be very tanky early. Generally isn't very tanky at all, as the Centaur is going to take the death at top. Eclipse doing enough damage to him. Couldn't quite pick up the Hooded Defiance just yet. But Eagle is now up to a Doom. I kind of forgot what it was called for a while. Literally the name of the hero. Some very imaginative naming right there. Smoke gets used by Duop. They want to, I don't know, maybe save Sniper a little bit, try to bait it out, try to make Tomato pay for getting all those kills onto their guy. He's up to level 9 right now. That's some pretty good leveling onto the silencer, and he'll throw out another arcane curse on the sniper, but he starts to run right into an ogre. Are there going to be TPs coming in here? IX Mike would be the one to help out, but Tomato's taking way too much damage, and he's probably going to end up dying here. He does have the magic wand, but it's not going to help him nearly enough. 747 finding the kill, and no one from Freedom felt like helping him at all. Freedom do push in top. IX Mike, apparently that's what was a lot more important. He's going to be the one picking up the Helm of the Dominator here. Eagle doesn't have it. BSJ, he's going for a little bit of tankiness right now. He's not going to pick up the Helm. So Freedom, they are going to be diverting from their usual strategy a little bit. Eagle throwing out a rock to make sure that the Ion Shell creep dies, as Freedom also find the tower on top. And Tomato should also have his Veil pretty soon. He's just 300 gold off of it. Lots of damage possible at bottom, and Snaking is pushing in. Ix Mike wants to join the fight, throws out a very low damage myth coil over to Luna. Just touching on her little cat butt. Just a little bit of a touch. Not anything creepy. Don't get your knickers in a twist there. Lots of damage to Abaddon. He still has the borrowed time available, and he might just proc it all on purpose. He's right next to an Ion Shell, and he decides not to take the damage there. Little 8 shield away from this one. UR will pop the shield again, and well, it's just a lot of mana being used by Duop. Nothing really ends up happening there. So Duop, they still want to keep farming with UR, attacking with some pretty high speed thanks to the Bloodlust. UR is taking a little bit of damage here, but it's nothing really substantial. And the Doom will start doing the dance of his people, throwing out the tornado at bottom. Making sure that this creep wave gets pushed out. Gotta be checking out BSJ's farm as he tries to get towards his Hood of Defiance. He really needs it in order to stay tanky in these fights. But Tomato does have his Veil of Discord, so we're starting to have a couple more key items brought up for the teams. Eagle starting to get over to mid. And maybe Doom. He's got the Doom out onto the Dazzle. Sniper caught out inside the Stag Storm. And Snaking gets there as well. They'll be able to kill off the Dazzle. So that was definitely the right Doom to make sure that the Shallowgrave never came out. Also the Silencer ultimate. There's so many silences going out here, and this is just the kind of fight that Freedom needs. Triple kill for Tomato. Both throw out the Bloodlust on the tower as well as Freedom. Use all the silences there. And now they might possibly not be able to fight as well for the next couple minutes. But Duop, they'll have to respawn before they can actually try to fight. That will lead to a tier 1 tower being taken by Team Freedom. And Tomato's also at the top of net worth. BSJ stepping up possibly a little bit too far, but well, he would think that 747 really can't do all that much about him, but he actually takes away half of his health. Not going to be all that tanky. GB looking for some vision. He doesn't quite see Clairvoyance hanging out around there. And they're never going to see him either. Over at top, BSJ, he seems to be rather low, sitting next to a bounty rune, and they will be able to find it. Lucid Beam comes out from Luna. She's not very happy about it. The Purge comes out, but BSJ is not going to be slowed down as a result of that. Meanwhile, in mid, Eagle wants to go on to 747 a little bit, but he's probably going to take a lot of damage here as well. And Ix Mike will be pushing in bottom, so they're just looking for the places where Duop or not. Eagle taking some damage at mid. Will be backing back into a poison touch. Here comes a TP back from Ix Mike. He could be the one that saves Eagle, and well, the assassinate will not come through. Ix Mike gonna get the borrowed time pop there. And he gets back up to about half health. They're keeping Eagle alive. Ix Mike taking still a lot of damage, putting out an A5 shield onto a creep, trying to get this pushed out. Meanwhile, at bottom, Fury will get silenced. Tomato, they're going to use the glimpse back onto UR, getting him out of the lane. They'll give another one over to Tomato. He's up to 14 intelligence right now. Really doing quite well with the kills. And Team Freedom currently pretty far ahead of Duop. Also on the, well, net worth is a little bit closer. Tomato seems to be the only one trying to defend bottom for now as he takes the creep wave off the tower. Duop will be getting away over to the side. As Eagle's here as well, he needs a little bit more time. He does have the Doom now, but that's going to be about it. He could also throw a couple of those rocks out. Also, that rock takes no mana to throw. It's actually extremely good for the Doom. But Team Freedom, they're still moving around the map as a unit pretty well, starting to group up at bottom, and they should have all of their silences up. 15 seconds on the Static Storm, so they should be able to push this tower in pretty well. The minus weave comes in from the Dazzle, but the tower will still end up falling. Do Freedom decide to push this in a little bit more though? Freedom will stay here a little bit more. BSJ ready with the charge if they end up needing it, and that might be able to get Team Freedom out of a little bit of trouble. I'll put down a ward, and GB gets over to the side. He's going to try to stay away from Biryu, juking around the trees, possibly trying to bait. As Mia glimpses back on the Biryu, he doesn't manage. Oh, somehow Biryu gets a little bit of his fat outside that kinetic field. The glimpse is going to, or sorry, the surge is going to get him away as BSJ looking for the kill. Dazzle gets a shallow grave on himself before the silence ends up doing too much. Eventually they will find him, and they still have, Doom has been used. They're going to use the glimpse back on the 747, kept with the Inferno Blade. Doom could just turn into two Dooms if he ends up getting killed as the borrow time pops on the IX Mike. Still huge damage from Freedom. They just run in. IX Mike nearly getting killed by the tower. Bloodlust can definitely do quite a bit of work onto an Abaddon. Meanwhile, UR is taking a tower in the mid lane, but the tier 2 is taking a lot of damage from Freedom. Duop will try to defend it. Eagle has to start to get away. There's an Iron Shell right next to him, and Dazzle will get the glimpse right back to the base. That's our ultimate, also used to get Team Freedom out of a little bit of trouble. UR is currently just farming up a storm right now though. He's got 1400 gold on his way to the Manta style. If Duop are going to win this match, it's definitely going to be on the back of UR and his huge attack speed thanks to the Bloodlust. These creep waves are dying so quickly. Vacuum back on the Eagle. He uses the Scorched Earth to try to survive. He's going to be slowed down pretty substantially, but he's got a Hood Defiance keeping himself up for now. He'll eat the wolf that's sitting there. Free bit of damage for him. IX Mike comes in from the side. They don't have a lot of slowdown for Duop here, so they'll just chase him away from the bottom lane rather. And IX Mike keeps the lane pushing out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You are still farming super well. Eventually Team Freedom are going to have to deal with him. If you look at 747, he's nearly up to his Shadow Blade. And Freedom still have so many silences, so it's going to take a while until I think Duop are ready to fight here, simply because they don't have any BKBs. They really should have those up before they end up fighting, or maybe some Force Staffs just to kite Freedom all over the place. BSJ getting some farm from those Ancients. Got a Vanguard. He's getting pretty tanky right now. Kinda difficult to kill, even with all the damage that Luna has. And they will be able to find Biryu out over near the shrine. Yeah, that was just a smoke hitting from Freedom. And it's just another kill going Team Freedom's way. It's just very easy pushes for them. They're taking advantage of BSJ's blink. There's not a whole lot that they have to do in order to win here. They'll be able to find Snake King. He's going to be taking a silence if he tries to survive a little bit longer. 22 intelligence stolen for Bouncer. You guys are funny. So yeah, Team Freedom will be able to take a tier 2 tower off the map. They'll take 2 actually. They also get the one at bottom. Maybe at top, IX Mike looking for some kills as well. 747 looking for the gank squad, and meanwhile on mid lane we're gonna have actually two supports going on to an ogre match. This is just how far this thing has progressed. They're nearly killing off an ogre. Eagle finding the kill. How far do these supports have to go to find kills, man? I mean, they're almost getting IX Mike killed off at top, but still the supports are finding kills. Oh, he was random dusting that someone was here. Sniper could have been going for a gank. He's got a shadow blade. Freedom coming in from the side. That was just ridiculous. They didn't even spend the doom for it. Oh my lord. Oh, IX Mike. He's gonna be the one telling Freedom to start pushing the top lane. And they'll be sitting inside the jungle. Oh, there's a blink out onto the Dazzle right away. Fairpoint's in some trouble. He can't get the vacuum. Oh, they will actually get the vacuum. Shallow Grave wasn't put out. Tomato nearly dead. Okay, maybe they do need a global silence if they want to try to fight. BSJ is super tanky right now, though. He could go for a stomp on the Biryu. He's still managing to get killed by 747. So maybe they do actually need their abilities if they want to try to fight. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. From Duop, and it might actually open up Roshan for them. And the stack stores up in 5 seconds, global silence in 7, and these tiers will be up soon, so Duop are gonna have to take this very quickly if they want to have a hope of actually getting it. IX Mike about to walk in. Oh no, Cardi the catapult, he scouts out everything. There's nothing unknown now for Team Freedom as they'll drop down the stack storm inside the pit. Tomato's already got a kill. Lots of damage is out. Shallow Grave out in 747. He's almost getting away from here, but he's going to be glimpsed right back in the pit underneath the sentry ward. They're not able to find the kill on him. He's actually going to get searched away for now, but they're going to keep looking. Meanwhile, Luna caught out. That's going to be the Aegis going down. Eagle's going to surround him. Tomato there as well. There's a charge, lots of damage, and there's going to be no way that Yawar gets out of there. Mini stun in from the Inferno Blade. And meanwhile, inside the jungle, IX Mike is chased down the Dazzle. Only the sniper stays alive. So, Team Freedom finding another big fight. And this is actually really similar to a situation we saw earlier where Team Freedom got the Aegis and then they lost a pretty bad fight because Duop had a better zoning, AoE zoning. Right now, BSJ going for bottom. We've got the rest of Team Freedom going for the mid tier 3. King. He's got the Doom and the Shrine. It's a lot of damage from Tomato. Sounds Ultimate will be there as well. I feel like Team Freedom are kind of using a lot as they try to go for these towers. They'll use another Pipe of Insight. BSA actually dying off at bottom to 747, and he might be able to find another kill. They're going pretty far forward here. Connector is going to keep them out. There's a vacuum in the wall. The Eagle in some trouble. Absolutely blown up thanks to the heal bomb. Here comes the Eclipse as well. It's hitting onto literally nothing. Just the ground monsters being killed by Yawar. Let's zoom in a little bit on those as GB gets over to the side and the vision is, oh my lord, it's not there. They don't see him. He just tucks himself in the trees. They can't find him. My lord. Yeah, whatever, man. That was definitely an interesting fight. However, for Team Freedom, they did not take any racks. Here 2 is still up in the top lane. There's a lot of stuff for them to do here, and they still have to deal with the sniper defending the high ground, which is definitely a task in itself. We're ready to go on to IX Mike. Literally no mana on him, but he'll get the blink out, and Disruptor's ready to fight as well. IX Mike in with the A5 shield. It's going to hit a little bit on the UR. Borrow time is available. Biryu decides to step forward a little bit on the Disruptor as it's Luna TP's away. I don't see Biryu getting out of this one at all. So Team Freedom will find another kill and start their push on the top lane, looking for the last tier 2 on the map and start to go for those shrines if they have a chance. Eric Dong also putting the damage onto the tier 2. He wants to get in on that one. TP goes down to bottom. And, well, it looks like Centaur is going to be invis. So is the Sniper. Which one of these is going to run out first? It's going to be a race. The Sniper TP's out. And the BSJ Centaur is going to actually get out of there. There's a vacuum out on the 3. Tomato does not have the global silence for another 1 second. He could put it down right now. There's going to be the assassinate coming through. He'll try to TP out. He's going to be kept there though. And Tomato's actually going to go down for not using the global silence. Thanks, Mike. Blinks in the trees. They're going to get out after taking the tier 2. And BSJ is still doing his own special thing. Pushing in the bottom lane. BSJ using the Shadow Blade to get away from the Snake King. And Duop are currently penetrating a little bit onto the green side of the map. Look at the net worth graph right now. It is on the side of Freedom, but it's sharply declining right now. XP is also going down. Top tower going the way of Duop. So they're still taking a couple of towers off the map. They might be able to hit the shrines pretty soon, but BSJ, he's gonna find Biryu again. The glimpse goes back into the river away from BSJ, making things very difficult for him. Comes in with the Shadow Blade hit and the stomp. Biryu trying to get away. He's caught up in the kinetic field a little bit more as the rest of Duop are starting to show up, which means that the Ogre Magi is going to stay alive for now. Smoke comes in from Team Freedom. Friends that stick together, possibly win games together. We'll see if Freedom can win the game here. They're smoking up into the base. They don't have really many creeps there. They're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. BSJ, he's actually going straight for the high ground, and he's gonna see the Ogre Magi. There's the blink, there's the stun. Finally, they will be able to take this guy down with the A5 shield on himself. It's just so much damage coming through, and Alex Mike wants a little bit more. Glimpse goes back from the darks here. He's gonna have to try to get back into the base as Dazzle's staying alive right next to the shrine. Alex Mike gets the borrowed time pops. He manages to kill off the tier 3 tower, but the rest of his team is not close to him at all. They use the Centaur ultimate to get away. There's also Snake King coming in from the backside. Maybe he gets a fantastic vacuum, but he's not really going to be in the position for it. And another glimpse back. This guy just keeps getting glimpsed all over the map. There's just, I don't know, some hate for Snake King. They're just like, nah, you can go back where you were. You're not going to be making any progress here at all. So Duop, they are mostly grouped in mid. They only have Yuar pushing the lane right now. Meanwhile, BSJ pushing in top. They're going to have to react to this push sometime soon as 747 goes right for IX Mike. Finally, that borrowed time gets back up there. IX Mike, oh no. He actually manages to stay alive borrowed time so long, looking for the TP out, and he's gone. IX Mike is out of here. I guess the sniper isn't really the best hero for trying to make sure that the Abaddon dies. The BSJ, he's still doing a great job of keeping these lanes pushed out, and Duop aren't really reacting to it all. I guess it can be kind of difficult to kill a Centaur, especially when he has like a Shadow Blade, his charge up. It might be a little bit difficult. Ice Mike walking in with the Blade Mail. Might have seemed a little bit early for that. And he will manage to deny the tower. Meanwhile, BSJ, he'll use the charge to get out. Snake King has the vacuum back, but the Shadow Blade is there, and Snake King doesn't seem to have the vision to make sure that BSJ dies. Only one tier 3 remaining as Freedom start to think about going for these shrines. JB up to the high ground. Tomato's here with him as well. They do kind of minimal damage to the shrine, but eventually they will kill it with enough persistence and, you know, other stuff that helps you kill shrines. I guess they'll be fine. Back in the mid lane, Duop starting to push down on the push button. You say push the lanes. So Freedom, they'll take one shrine. Let's try to make sure that their lanes are pushed out. I don't really want them to be in a good position for Freedom. Looking at the items on Sniper, he's got the Silver Edge, the Silver Edge, the Hurricane Pike, and the Maelstrom. He's going to be doing a lot of damage with those. You know, Snake King wants a little bit more survivability, I guess. Eric Dog on his Butterfly. And I don't know if we have any NKBs coming up for Team Freedom. Definitely not right now, as Ixmike goes into a big gangbang. Mia Stack Storm drop down, keeping him alive. He's actually going to keep walking into the dire part of the map. Ixmike managing to blink away. He needs his Apodic shield, taking a lot of damage from the Lunar. The Dune comes out. HS is going to keep him there. BSJ goes up to the background. This guy's got no fear at all. They're right next to a shrine, though. All of them getting caught on the Connect field. And they'll also use the Silencer ultimate to get away. So that should probably mean that Freedom just leave. Ixmike will be able to TP out. That was just a terrible position to the fight for Team Freedom. They I don't know, they tried to engage uphill into a Luna, who's pretty tanky at this point, without many members of their team. They also tried to go next to a shrine, which also wasn't really working out. They're actually really lucky they got out with their lives as Luna starts to work on a tier 2. Now we've got BSJ fighting the Dazzle. No chance for a grave at all. He's got to blink out as well. He'll actually blink right over towards the rune spot. Meanwhile, over near the shrine, Ixmike trying to fight against the illusions. The illusions can actually take down the shrine. They'll go for the charge forward. Viryu in some trouble. He's going to get stomped on by BSJ. Double Edge is there as well. Abaddon taking another bunch of damage thanks to the bar time. Eclipse is going on. Eagle right next to it. You are taking some damage. They want to get away from that wall, but they keep going through it. BSJ on the high ground, though. He's going for these duop members. Sniper tries to TP away. Stop in from BSJ. He's going nowhere. BSJ able to find another one with the triple kill. They'll also be able to kill off the shrine at... Although, I think the Illusions... Yeah, the Luna Illusions took the shrine. Poor guy. But Freedom can start to push this in. 3 buybacks are currently up for duop, and Dazzle's going to be able to keep his for a little bit longer. And that was without a lot of the ultimates. Duop just in the wrong place, and BSJ found a huge amount of pickoffs there. They'll be able to take off the set of racks at bottom. Duop might want to start thinking about some buybacks because Team Freedom don't really look like they're stopping anytime soon. They start to get over towards the ranged racks. Timato doing that nice attack moving thing. BSJ goes right for the tier 3. Ixmike pretty far in. Buyback by Luna. Sniper's still going to stay out of this one. Stack Storm dropped down. I guess it's just a zoning Stack Storm because it's certainly not meant to do any damage to Duop at all. Juby gets out, blinking the trees for Ixmike. He should be fine. And Freedom, they take a pretty big advantage there. Now BSJ will go for the other shrine on the map for Duop. So, right now, Snake King, I guess he's just doing his best to keep this lane pushed out, but he's down to half the amount of racks that his team started with, so it's going to get a little bit more difficult. They do at least have the Bloodlust and the Maelstrom on Sniper, but Sniper, he's already pretty squishy anyway, and the next Roshan should belong to Freedom. Ixmike starting to push on the mid lane. He's had his Radiance for a while, and it's going to be an Octarine core for him next. He's probably trolling with that, even though it is a pretty legit build sometimes. 1047 right on the high ground, and Disruptor just decides to step up through it. Be careful of what 747 can do. There will be a glimpse right back towards BSJ. Blink forward, but the next force staff away by 747 is going to keep him alive. Dark's here with a large damage from the backside. Abaddon taking most of the punishment from Duop as he gets the borrowed time pop. He'll get stunned, but that's not going to do too much. Actually blinking away, and now Eagle caught out underneath the Eclipse. Lots of damage there as Duop, they start to chase down Freedom. BSJ is very tanky, but he can also take a lot of punishment from Duop. Starting to go for the double edge, and he's taking a lot of damage here. He has the silver edge. He tries to use it, but there's still a lot of vision of him, and UR will be able to find the kill. And they didn't take the melee racks. That health will regenerate. So Duop, they are trying as desperately as possible to keep Freedom out of the base, and actually Roshan was never taken there. So this could very easily belong to Duop. They have no Global Silence, no Static Storm. They just have Abaddon ready to go with the Blink, but Roshan isn't nearly low enough. Ix Mike just chases them away, as Duop should be, Doom should be respawning soon. Ix Mike nearly dying to those illusions. He still has the borrowed time available as well as the Radiance, just making things as difficult for Duop as possible. Snaking into the pit. He's got 22 seconds left on his wall. And that Roshan is nearly dead. Juby, he'll get vision with the kinetic field. Ix Mike in the middle of everything. He starts to join in on Roshan. He'll get back into outside the pit. Yuara gets in there. Stackstorm is there as well. Snake King in some trouble. He can't get his wall off. And Yuara, although he has the Aegis, he has been doomed. And I don't know how long that doom is going to last. 747 tries to just turn around for some damages. But Yuara, he's going to respawn thanks to the Aegis. And he doesn't have buyback anymore either. He used that to get back in the last fight. And that'll actually be it. Duop will call it. Freedom will move on to the grand final to play against whoever happens to show up against them. This has been a very close series and some very surprising matches. But eventually Team Freedom, they're way too tanky, and they